Off the start then, look at the burst off the line that orange red line KTM got, and as he launched into the first turn, he only just was able to nail it. Oh, but not quite, because underneath him came Joe Francis on the WD-40 Honda. Joe Francis then took the lead initially and began to pull a little gap on Taron McKenzie as they began to leave Andy Reid riding very, very well on the Ryan Saxelby bike that is usually, of course, ridden by Catherine Green, the only lady ever to win a race at a British Superbike round. Shell oil's hairpin, a mistake by Taz McKenzie, runs a little bit wide. No second invitation needed from Joe Francis, and the young Cheshireman bounces through. Scorching round through. This is a favourite move of Taron's, using that superior mid-corner speed through Izzy's chicane to get the advantage at Knickerbrook. But then a massive moment as he comes round the left-hander at Island Bend. That affects his corner speed entering into Shell Oil's hairpin, and Joe Francis retakes the lead. So it's beautiful summer afternoon weather here in Cheshire. It's the local boy fighting with the Midlands-based Scotsman. Back to the front goes Taron McKenzie. And then there's the nail it up the hill. Almost a moment in the final turn for Taron McKenzie, but if anything, Joe Francis is on the wrong side, the outside. And the red line KTM does take the verdict and explodes with joy across the line ahead of the WD-40 Honda. Well done, Taz. Victory for him. Closes the gap in the table. Off the start, the man on pole position, Tristan Palmer, certainly notched up the perfect start, swung down to Old Hole Corner ahead of Tommy Aquino and led from the start. And the Rapido Sport Racing Ducati was going to come under some pressure during the course of the race, initially from number 11. That's Adam Jenkinson. Tommy Aquino lost third place to David Johnson, but plunged straight back under in a brave move at Island Bend. Tristan Palmer leading the way. A mistake for David Johnson gave an opportunity there for Hudson Kennan to get through. The South African couldn't quite make it, but he soon moved through into fourth place. The front three, though, had broken away, and Tommy Aquino, not to be outdone, even though his fairing was becoming undone, plunged once more past Adam Jenkinson into second place. The 21-year-old from America really getting in the mix here, looking for his first victory in his debut season in the UK and his maiden season on a 1000cc superbike. And then he has this enormous moment on the last lap, loses the front as he goes through Druids, trying to get on terms with Tristan Palmer. That gives Jenkinson the opportunity to dive through on the SMT Kawasaki. But for Rapido Sport Racing's Tristan Palmer, a brilliant victory, his second win of the season in the 4 races that he's contested on the Ducati. He wins it from Adam Jenkinson and Tommy Aquino. Brilliantly, coolly takes victory, and that is a second race win of the season for Treacle. Off the start, it was Jordan Simpkin on pole position on bike number 18, gets outgunned by Callan Cooper. The Manxman launches his Yamaha first into Old Hall Corner, and just the one faller, the first faller of the whole day here at Oulton Park. Fortunately safe and unharmed, although he did try to stand up a bit too soon. Meanwhile, Luke Hedger has taken the lead off Callan Cooper, who's now under attack from championship leader Jordan Simpkin. Simpkin moves through on his Yamaha. And at the front, Luke Hedger comes under some pressure from the championship leader. Hedger, of course, second in the championship, needs those precious extra points. And he fights tooth and nail, constantly lap on lap. Simpkin tries to go round the outside at Shell Oils and cut it back inside. It never quite works. And the hardest working right wrist in Superstock racing, Luke Hedger, just keeps on wringing the neck of the Gearlink Kawasaki. Behind him, Joe Collier finally makes a late race move on Callan Cooper and pushes the Haribo Starmix Triumph 675 Daytona through into third place. Great move by Collier, the early championship pacemaker. And then Luke Hodger dives through Deer Leaf, and suddenly the chain comes off the Yamaha of Jordan Simpkin, and the distraught championship leader sees his advantage cut as Luke Hedger launches across the line on the Gearlink Kawasaki, and Simpkin's left to crawl across the line in fourth place. Ben Field got a lightning fast start off pole position. The new lap record holder around here, led by 3 or 4 bike lengths as they dropped into the first turn, with Leon Morris in second place. Dennis Hobbs quickly taking over on the Black Beast, and he moved through on the inside early on as they went into Lodge Corner, and the Gisborough-born lad from the Cleveland Hills took the lead. And then a nasty moment there involving an accident that, well, it was a bit of a coming together. It saw off the number 58 machine of Byron Beckett. And a big moment there for Ben Field as he went through dearly. But he wasn't to be outdriven. We had another big crash as well. Look at this coming down into Cascades. And then Dennis Hobbs found himself under attack once more from the tiny former motocrosser. And Ben Field nips through, retakes the lead. Behind him, Martin Nutt's holding third place. Jonathan Railton, his nearest challenger, has moved through into sixth place. And then Dennis Hobbs, after checking that the track was clear behind him, makes one final move on the penultimate lap into Lodge Corner, takes the lead. And then Ben Field has this horrible moment coming down the avenue and crashes out of second place, and gifting that second place to Leon Morris. Martin Nutt runs in third place to extend his lead in the championship, but Dennis Hobbs is very much the man in form, and the man from Knockhill Racing Circuit up in Scotland has taken a double race victory on his Ducati this week. Off the start, no Scott Pitchers on the front row. He was starting right from the back as they launched downhill, with Dan Hellier off pole position, making the most of that pole position start, and the Cup Challenger led the way up Halewood Hill. Well, very quickly, Chrissy Rouse came into the picture, forcing his way through to third place at Surtees, past the yellow machine of Charlie King. And then we had early fallers at Westfield, fortunately without any harm being done. 2 riders going down in 2 separate incidents there. And fortunately also the fact that they were on the entrance rather than the exit to that particular turn. But look at this move by Chrissy Rouse. He forced his way through in one massive move at Paddock Hill Bend, and that gave him the lead. And from that point on, the brave Geordie had that race. Well, he looked fairly under control. The rest of them crowding one another out round Druids Hill Bend. And it was anyone's second, third or fourth place at this point. Charlie King on the yellow machine doing his best to force a way through. He finally got the better of Dan Hellier as they dived into the saucer-shaped Stirling's Bend, and also took Alicia, who was running wide on his own. The Spaniard had the final say on the matter with a brilliant move here coming out of Hawthorne's Bend on the final lap. Gave him the push to get underneath through Westfield Bend, down Dingledell. The leader and the race winner, the championship leader, Chrissy Rouse. Second place went to Alex Alicia. Third place for Charlie King after a brilliant Triumph Triple Challenge race. Well done, Chrissy Rouse, extending his championship advantage.
Well, when the race got underway, the atmosphere was thick with the determination from the Birchall brothers as they took the lead going into Paddock Hill Bend ahead of pole position man Tim Reeves, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving as Reeves sided through, nearly put them on the gravel. Contact from the word go here, and that really set the scene for what was to be an enthralling sidecar race. At the front, the lead swapped and re-swapped several times, with the Birchalls and the Reeves brothers vying for the coveted lead. Never far behind though, Sean Hegarty and Callum Lawson gave it their all as well, and were in touch for pretty much all of the race, and they nosed ahead several times. 3 abreast of Druids, did not go 3 into 1. Andy Peach almost collected them. Charlie Richardson did a magnificent job to stay aboard as the rear tyre bit. Hegarty showed his front end and pushed hard. Reeves, meanwhile, getting away just a little bit, but the Birchalls were not done yet. Hegarty lunged past the Paddock Hill Bend, one of his favourite overtaking spots, pushed the Birchalls wide, and from then on, it was pretty much a done deal. Tim Reeves easing away. Fighting back at Surtees, though, there was real contact between these two, and that gave Tim Reeves the opportunity he wanted. The gap then was 3 seconds, and he never looked back. Hegarty Lawson had to retire, and that was a shame for them. No doubt about the winners though, Tim and Tristan Reeves. They knew they'd been in a fight.